Good morning, kings and queens, because that's what you are. You are royalty. No one is superior to you. No one. I want you to think about this. You know, the white supremacists, and they got to change their name because ain't no such thing as white supremacists. Okay, the white supremacists, these people who think they supreme over somebody. Now listen to this. When they go to work, that racism ain't tolerated at work. They can't have that at work. You're gonna get fired. But see, look here. What if an African work outside and he have his job is outside, but he got to deal with somebody that want to stand outside with a hood on and burning a cross across the street, or with a hood on and a sign that say I'm supreme over you, or stand there and intimidate him while he at work. Ain't nothing that his boss can do about that, because see, that's free speech. I want to know, how is that free speech out here on the outside, but in the inside, in the job, that's intimidation and harassment, and you could be sued for that. But see, on the outside, he can stand there and say that, and it's okay with everybody because that's his free speech, to intimidate and harass, a citizen of the United States that's born here has a legal right to be here just like anybody else. His ancestors, yes, were brought over here, but look at here. Listen to this. The African, his ancestors were brought over here to this country, kidnapped and brought over here against their will. But look here, this other man here, who say he's supreme over somebody, his ancestors came over here and took the land from some other people and claimed it for their own. So really, when you think about it, who really supposed to really be here? Okay. Yeah. 1 and 1 is 2 all day long. Ain't nobody supreme over nobody. He definitely ain't supreme over him, because all life came from Africans. I got to remind the white supremacy people, or whoever they think they are, that they ain't supreme over nobody. And you walk in royalty, because that's what you are. You king, you kings and queens, I don't like, really, I'm here for oppression. I'm not here for politics. I talked about Donald Trump on on YouTube, but I'm really not here for that. However, what's going on in the political environment, yes, it definitely has something to do with what we dealing with oppression. Absolutely. Racism, we deal with that every day. Racism, it is undeniable. And anyone who sits up and says that there's no racism, Bill Barr, and you the head of the Justice Department, you say there's no racism in the Justice Department. Even a blind person can see that. Even a lady justice, she peeking out from the blind, looking at you crazy. What? It's inequality in this justice system over here. And it needs to be dealt with. And I truly believe, honey, you just don't know. What I know is some help on the horizon. It's some different things finna go on. But I'm gonna tell you something about this GOP party. Is I don't understand it. No matter what party you identify with, it's racism on both parties. But this GOP party want to stand behind racism, and then and just say it's okay, and duck and dodge the different things that's going on. I don't like to sit in judgment of no one, but you got to point out the obvious. You got to look at a person who is sitting in the highest office in the land, and you look at a child who simply want a better life, who was brought here, just simply for a better life. And you're going to throw that child in a cage. And then you can go to sleep at night. And where's your heart? What happened to the heart? What happened? I just got to ask that. I don't understand. I don't understand how you live with yourself. How you get up and comb your orange hair in the morning. How you get up, how you do that. That right there, I just don't understand. But I'm going to tell you something, he's desperate. He's desperate to hold on to the office for a number of reasons. And I want you to know that he's one man, but God is in control. God is in control. So don't sit up and stress and wonder and worry. Because I used to. Don't sit up and stress and wonder and worry about nothing. Because in the end, God is in control. And in the end, Africans are going to rise with substance. Regardless, just like now, regardless of whatever's going on, all this chaos, negativity, and drama is all around us. It's all around us. But remember what I told you. Keep your eyes focused on God. Keep your eyes to the sky. Look to the hills with cometh my help. Look up there. Meditate on the positive. Tonight, I'm going to tell you tonight, don't be down there in this foolishness with these fireworks and this stuff going on. Be at home, sitting somewhere quiet, meditating on the Lord, meditating on what this new year getting ready to bring you, because you getting ready to grow. You rising, you growing. You going to come out with substance. God, it's not an accident that you found this podcast. It's not an accident that you here. And you don't have to be going through. I'm telling you, your days are going through or over with. You can begin to start meditating on the positive. You can begin to start removing that chaos and negativity and drama slowly out your life. I don't care who it is. It could be mama. Who it is. Get that out your life, because you ain't here for them. The Lord put you here for a reason, for a purpose. And they will continue no matter what. They gonna keep on, because that's what it's a spiritual warfare. It ain't them. It's a spiritual warfare. It's good and evil. But you got to remember to keep your eyes focused on God, and begin to slowly begin to remove that out of your life, so that good can start to take over. And those ancestors are going to begin to bless you and manifest beautiful things in your life, because God anointed them to do so. These spirits ain't resting. If the evil spirits is up doing, the good spirits is up doing, So don't think that they off sleeping somewhere and the evil is just up doing. Because I'm going to tell you something. The evil is up, honey. That house over there is haunted. Evil is all in that house. I mean, I felt redemption in the end before I left. I felt some redemption from some of the spirits. But from what I have been told, there is evil still going on in that house. So I just want you to be aware that there is a spiritual warfare going on. You can call it the devil. You can call it what you want. But there is a spiritual warfare going on. And it's starting at the top. Sometimes it starts at the top, like it's doing now. With what happened with the slavery and our ancestors and everything. And now it's been trickled on down into us and the community and how we treat one another, how we treat ourselves, how we've been doing. It's time for us to rise up above that, rise up above our circumstances, our environment, regardless of what's going on, rise above it. Because we finna work on it, honey. We finna work on all that. We finna work and change some mindset, how people doing, folks. I promise. We gonna grow. Be safe, be woke, be blessed. Remember, this new year is getting ready to bring some beautiful things. Keep growing.